Wednesday, October 2nd. Remember, this is October, the month where we historically have a buying opportunity on a break. So I'm very much looking forward to the bearish engulfing signal yesterday to work. Crossing my fingers. Usually they do. Last buy signal was extremely good. Some sell signals involved in this top. Another buy signal on the E-mini, August 8th. Sell signals close to, not quite on top. They don't always work. My stops are in place immediately, instantaneously, when this automatic trading system strategy is used. So, momentarily, we have a stop coming down. We're short from yesterday's bearish engulfing, and we're going to look at the details now. And you know I'm expecting a low this month. I'll go back to the daily in a moment to give you an idea as to how low it can go, I think. Now, new short from yesterday, the day trade was a small loss. Right now, and it's changing every moment, we have a profit on our same short position price and time-wise trade. Was a loss for a little bit, came back, and I think we're going to make new lows for the day and close below yesterday's lows. We'll see what happens. We're down only a little bit at the moment, very little, but heading in the right direction. Now, as far as the downside objective is concerned, for the E-mini 5470-ish, which was the low back in early September, I think at a minimum. Frankly, I cannot rule out something around 5240 and even 5165-ish. So there's a zone in here that I think we have a chance of bottoming out in during this month. And then I do expect to see a big bull move out of that October low. Just look at last October and the year before that, October of 22. And if you wish, I have shown, usually on Fridays, the historical charts and shown you there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. October oftentimes has a major low, and it's been approximately 90, a little bit over 90%. In 31 years, we have seen 3 that didn't work right. Next chart is back to the E-mini, 5-minute data, slipping at the moment, coming down. Okay, the next chart is Spider. Obviously, different trading hours generate a little bit different charts because of the higher highs and or lower lows. Unfortunately, we did not get overbought, came very close within the last few days on the SPY. Otherwise, we might have gotten a sell signal, but it doesn't look like it. So all it's doing is turning around. And to be honest with you, today's low is right smack dab at a support level, previous highs over time. Exactly if you were bullish, where you would expect it to stop dropping and start to go back up, which sort of it's doing a little bit of. I don't think that's going to continue. I think it's going to make new lows, and a little bit of support is going to break, and down we go. Again, SPY down to about 540 and maybe down to 510. Next chart. We got a 5-minute chart on the Spider. You can see it's starting to move down some, but I need to see lower lows relatively frequently and closing a new low ground, breaking previous support levels. In particular, the one that really seems to be important lately would be about 560. Closing below that, and that's only 8 points, I might add, lower than where we are right now. Could happen any old time, all of a sudden. We've seen these indexes move 10 points without a problem. Just takes a little catalyst. Next chart is QQQ. Topped out a little earlier than everything else. March 24th, whoa, wrong data. I knew that was wrong. So we topped out a little earlier than most, but around 926, overbought and simply starting to come down. We have broken some significant lows for the last week and a half. Good. It did come down and close a gap back on September 20th, so no reason to look at gaps to close. And new lows mean kind of dropping on its own, not a gap closure reason, technically. So unfortunately, no sell signal, just overbought for a couple of days, and starting to drop off into a little bit of support. I don't mind a little stability or small bounce on a closing basis, but I do expect to see lower lows probably by the end of the week at the latest. So today, tomorrow, or Friday, when we have the QQQ 5-minute chart starting to ease off. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I got to point out that this upside gap on September 26th, at the moment it happened, it looks very bullish to a lot of people because they're not used to analyzing the market from a technician's standpoint. But it has turned out at this point to be an exhaustion upside gap because the close wasn't strong enough and it didn't hold. Next day, you started to make lower lows. So no change in opinion. I think we're going to come down to 455 to 448-ish on the QQQ and maybe lower. Next, we have a bearish engulfing ER sell signal official yesterday on the NASDAQ NQ December futures contract. And today we were able to rally almost exactly up to the ER3 sell signal or trigger. And I'll show you in a minute on the 5-minute chart. You're going to love this one. It is back down to approximately unchanged. We have a small profit on the ER1 overnight. There's your green dashed line. There's the yellow STS stop sliding now. And I think we actually got bumped out with this particular kicker. Stop. Same thing. The word kicker for my strategy means, excuse me, the speed at which the trailing stop moves. Small kickers move the stop very fast. A larger number for the kicker moves the stop a lot slower for swing traders and longer term investors. Excuse me. All right. 1 minute, 5-minute chart. On the rally, around 8:20 California time, yep, we hit our red line right there, and that was the trigger for a new short sale, ER3, based on the ERSignals strategies. Got short on the rally, right now almost low and last, doing very, very well. Yellow line, stop for the new position, coming down very quickly. I can accelerate it if I wanted to probably lock in a small profit. But you know, that's one of the mistakes a lot of people make when they're neophytes, beginning traders, analysts, and so on. They move their protective stops too fast, and that is a very difficult number to gauge, speed to gauge. Too slow, you give away too much of your profit. Too fast, you get knocked out of the trade too quick. Not an easy answer. There is no easy answer to give. Our previous scalp trade, overnight trade, from ER1 did get bumped out with a very small profit right there. And we're short yesterday. Now the scalp lost a slight tiny bit, little red line right there. But the green made compensated. Now at the moment, 3 scalp and overnight doing great. Both got short at the same price, same time. The scalp just simply moves much, much quicker. The stop, that one. But the 3 overnight, the stop moves a lot slower and hasn't even budged yet. Next chart. We've got YM overbought on the top, not quite breaking out to the downside yet. I need a close below 42,187, and then I'll be real happy. I certainly expect it real soon. And the 5-minute chart shows you we just can't quite do it, get below and close below the low on September 25th. Okay. Russell, not the same category, not the same kind of charts, not the same kind of formations, much different index, and the charts look a lot different. All we did was get up to over resistance overhead and where it stopped before and get overbought, which it was before, and was started past tense to do exactly the same thing, drop right back down. I won't be a damn bit surprised if we don't get down to 21, and I cannot rule out something in the neighborhood of 1995. And the 5-minute chart shows you we just made today a little bit lower than yesterday's lows. And it's a new low for at least a few days plus. All right. I have complicated, unfortunately, the bond chart and the notes chart. Let me rescale some stuff here. This is very good. Okay. And slide over some. Good. All right. Now, this does look to me like a small head and shoulder top. The shoulder high, August 21. The top is a little bit of a double top, but the highest high you're supposed to use usually September 17th. But I kind of averaged it. The highest high was yesterday, and I kind of mentioned that, I think, in my YouTube yesterday. So all of a sudden, in one day, after making a new high for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, yesterday, with a fairly poor close, we went down and made a new low all of a sudden for a month. Now, we're not staying that weak at the moment, but we're down 28 ticks, close to a point. And we were more than a point lower. We did break what I think might be a neckline. Now, I want to close below that neckline. That's the official breakout. Today, we broke below it, but didn't stay there. At the moment, we're not staying there. You need an official breakout to close below the neckline, in which case, the minimum downside objective is measured with this line. I measured from the highest high to the neckline and pulled the line over to here. So that's my minimum downside objective on the bond chart. And guess what? It is in the green circle. Now, on top of that, bonds didn't really, with the high created on August 5th, create a double top. It got too significantly higher than the previous high. So I really can't talk about a double top with the bonds. 10-year notes, let's take a look. 10-year notes on that date I just mentioned, August 5th, did get up to almost exactly the same price levels. Therefore, I think this could be a double top. But in the double top, we have maybe created that head and shoulder. The shoulder high, August 21, the top is a bearish engulfing ER sell signal on the damn high day. Again, you cannot get better than a sell signal on the top day. Oh, yeah, you can sell the highest high for the high day. I don't know how to do that. That's a good trick. But at least I often get the day. We're still short ER1 overnight. It looks like it's about to make a new low for the move down. I've got the neckline drawn in with this yellow line. And if that's true, that's my objective. 112.15, which is not in the green circle. That's what I was looking for. And I basically still am, although I might have to adjust the vertical height of the circle, raise it up a little bit. If you consider the double top formation, then you take the two highs and you draw a line across. You take the average of the two highs, if not the same price, which is very rare, and you measure down to the lowest low, which is this line. And I took that line, duplicated it, and measured down from the breakout point, which is below the lowest low between the two highs. It happened very quickly in 3 days, but that's where it is, not there. And then measure down, and guess what? The double top says we're supposed to come down to this price level, which oh my God, is almost the middle of my green circle. So I'm a little bit torn between moving the circle or the top of it up some, like so. Well, not that high, but I don't know. I'm going to pretty much leave it where it was. Okay, but the time frame is not going to change. October, next chart. Crude, and then heat, unleaded, and we'll get to precious metals, copper, grains, and meats. So, a little bit more of a rally. Stopped at the same high we made a week ago. Generally, very broadly speaking, in a major resistance area. We did show signs of legitimately breaking out of a gigantic pennant formation that was over a year in size. Came down to support, got oversold, bounced. Came down to support again at a little bit higher prices and bounced, and here we are. Today's high is the same as a few days ago. We're currently up a little bit on the day. We should be stopping this little rally soon, I think, and turn down to make a new low. The overall longer trend is somewhat in question, but I think it's got a bearish tinge to it overall. Next time, chart, natural gas. Big downside breakout. Don't know why my strategy is not running here. Let's see here, ER1 overnight, which is my minimum. Yep, that should be. Apply, good, go, and let's reapply, load Ninja script. And I think it's going to solve the problem. I believe we had a bearish engulfing at the top of this market. Right there looks like one. But we'll find out in a minute. Nah, I'm not going to wait that long. Downside breakout, definitely not. Oh, I can't have a signal because I wasn't overbought. Back over here, we were overbought several different times, but that did not turn out to be the top of the market. Okay, so what we've got is a downside breakout and divergence, new highs in price over a couple of weeks, but not in the indicator. Looks like we're turning down, expecting a move down to about 2.6 and maybe lower than that. Next, heating oil. A little bit more of a rally and almost got to my little resistance area. Almost. Super close. And almost overbought also. So I wouldn't mind a little bit more strength, but right now it doesn't look too good. We're below where we opened. We're at the low of the day. The only thing friendly to this data is that we're up a few ticks. That could change. So we tested resistance almost and got overbought almost. Are we turning down now already? Not quite sure. Let's see what happens. We've got overbought conditions, turned down for a couple of days, bounced back a little bit yesterday, and now down again today in gold. I cannot come to a bearish conclusion yet. Gold has basically acted fairly friendly. Bullish breakout, September 12. Test of support, September 17. New highs by a substantial amount, got overbought, and all it's doing is dipping a little, which is definitely normal, in a bull trend. I wanted to be bearish. I was bearish. I was looking for a lot lower, mostly because of this bearish engulfing on 828, which worked fine for a few days, made us a little bit of money. But now I don't know what to say. I'm going to keep my mouth shut until I get a better idea. But, that's it. Don't say anything unless you got something good to say, one way or the other, confident to say. Silver, overbought in resistance, classic combination I love, dropped off for a few days. Today we have an outside trading range day, and if we close below yesterday's close, and we're currently up 18 ticks, not too much, we will have a bearish engulfing ER red sell signal. But currently, the only thing lacking is the net change being down instead of up. We're up 18.5, 8.19 now. So all it has to do is flip-flop to close lower, and I'll get a big sell signal in resistance after being overbought. Pretty good combination. So I have to beg off for the moment. And that was silver. Here's platinum. No outside day, just a little bit of a rally up 24. And no new highs, still bouncing down out of resistance. Although kind of gaining a little ground here. New high close for a couple, 3 days. I also got to wait on platinum. If I don't have something that I really feel good saying, shut up. High-grade copper. Big sell signal a couple of days ago. Fine and dandy. No problem with that whatsoever. Let's look at some more detail here. ER3 sell trigger was right about 4.6420. Current tick 4.6475, a little higher than where we got short. We did get short ER3 2 days after the initial sell signal. I got nothing wrong with this. I'm looking for the market to turn around and head south right away. I don't want any more strength. I got just as much as I wanted, almost exactly. Now it's time for it to head south. Okay, soybeans. Overbought, slipping a little, not much. No signals. I still think there's a chance that the bean market can come all the way back up to, what was I saying? 1104 is my most common number. Give or take a couple of pennies, that's been it. Just a hair over 11. And maybe even more than that. So let's see how it handles this little bit of a dip out of overbought condition, which is very normal in an up move. I don't want to say trend. Obviously, it's been going up for about a month and a half. I don't really call that a trend. Maybe 6 months would be a trend or more. You've got to be careful about how you use that word. It's very misleading sometimes. The trend in beans and grains in general on a longer term basis has and still is very bearish. Next chart. Oil, soybean oil, had a sell signal a few days ago. Today we had a little bit higher high than yesterday, but right at the resistance area top, where it topped out a few days ago with the signal. Currently still up a little on the day, but I do think this is going to start to slide and turn down and start to make lower lows for at least a week plus. I'm looking for a move down to 38, 68, and maybe well into new low ground. Meal, overbought, as I think I said yesterday, sort of in a vague area of resistance near previous tops, but not quite. Well, that's fairly accurate. Yesterday's high is fairly accurate. Today we didn't make a new high, so there's no bearish engulfing. Too bad. We are lower on the day right now, 840, and we made it below the last couple of days' lows by a lot. I think it's starting to turn down. Next stopping point on the way down for a bounce, 317, and then off of 300, and we'll see about lower. Next, corn, overbought, higher high, prime target for a bearish engulfing, but it can't so far get below yesterday's low. If it does, I'll have red bearish engulfing sell signal. Right now, all I can say is danger, don't go long. If you're long already, you've got a little profit probably. Protect it. I think it's about to roll over and head south. Wheat. Same answer. Overbought today in resistance. Doubtful that it's going to have a reversal because we're up 12 and a quarter. But it could. It just needs to collapse real fast to get below yesterday's low. But again, that does not look likely. But you never know in this business. Always be on your toes. Always expect the worst, but plan for the best. Okay, if that makes any sense. Cattle. Big rally. Up into resistance. Overbought now for about 2 weeks. I don't think this is going to last any longer. We just might get up to 188 and a quarter to that resistance zone. But I think we're very close to turning back down. Miss Piggy, the sell signal didn't work. We did have a minor new low, lower low the next day, which was Monday, but we now are overbought again, almost to a resistance area, which is one of my favorite combinations again, but not quite. So we may get another bearish signal very soon. I wouldn't go long. I'd be looking for reasons to go short again. And back to the E-mini. Dropping off 6 right now. What about the short-term chart? Let's go back to the 5-minute. Looks like we have a minor low shortly ago. Change into a 1-minute chart real quick. Should have the strategy show up in a few seconds. But I am changing the data on a variety of charts. There are what we call interval linked. So, not finished calculating, but dropping off real quickly at the moment. What can I say? Okay, there it goes. Still calculate it. Here we go. We're not finished yet. It's just changing colors because the strategy told it to. And we're now finally looking at the current up-to-date bouncing around ticks. Looking for new lows. You guys have a great day and profitable trading to you.